Well, what is up, bros and hoes? It's Ash OpTic MiDNiTE, and today we are back for Powered Down episode. I forgot 22.
22.
My instinct says 22.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
I think it is 22.
Did you hear that Taylor Swift won her
I did, actually.
counter suit versus
for $1.
$1. This radio DJ has to pay her. So I'm gonna make the joke. You got to grope Taylor Swift for $1.
Oh, not to mention
just
all
kidding.
The legal fees.
Sexual assault is not funny.
No, it's not at all. But it's really cool that obviously the dollar was just like, this isn't about the money. It's about making sure that like people can see somebody win. And obviously Taylor Swift is a different case because she's like this international superstar with unlimited amounts of funds and probably one of the world's best legal teams.
Yes.
But still, it is just more the principle that she could have gone after him for like thousands and maybe even millions.
In her statement, she thanked like 6 lawyers. I was like, damn, girl. Like,
that's actually kind of small. Like, I could see her with a team of like 20.
It sets a precedent, though. I mean, he actually technically sued her first. She was counter-suing him. She was over it. And then this guy was like, wait a minute, you ruined my rep. It's like, no, man, it kind of looks like you're grabbing her butt under her skirt in the photo. There's a photo.
And
he deleted key evidence.
Yeah, deleted.
Multiple times.
Destroyed the phone, threw out the phone, destroyed an iPad, destroyed backup recordings, and spilled coffee on his laptop.
Yeah, so maybe something to hide. Not sure there.
Yeah.
But either way is irresponsible.
Yep.
Whatever, if he was trying to hide something or not, it's irresponsible. And so, F that guy. I hope he rots in his legal fees. And he is sad that he had to pay her $1. And I actually saw that she's going to be donating to many domestic violence prevention, like charities and stuff like that. So it's a win for, I guess, sexual assault victims. It's a win for anyone who got to witness it, the whole trial go down.
Yeah, because it was good. It needed to happen.
I mean, it lasted like years. The legal system takes like years to do things.
It does, especially for something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you know what else is crazy?
What else is crazy?
Shout out to that time that I said we were going to record a face-to-face live podcast, and then we didn't. So that was my fault. I didn't end up going to Champs. I didn't. I'm more mad at myself than anyone could be about it.
Which I believe, especially after that OpTic victory. That was like a grinded out, deserved victory.
I mean, the event looked amazing. I mean, I knew the event was going to be amazing, but the event looked so amazing. And Yo, did you play World War II?
I did.
How you like it?
I didn't play it a ton because it like really picked up the second day, so I didn't end up going back. But it was really good. It felt good. But again, it's really hard to tell just from like that kind of environment. Like I spent the first time that I played it just kind of like trying to figure out different like sensitivities and just kind of messing around with different guns, so I didn't really get to sit down and like pick like a gun. You didn't
go try hard nerd.
Yeah, like I didn't get a chance to. Like I wanted to like see people and do things, and I was live streaming one day, and you obviously couldn't live stream the footage or anything, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, they had a pretty strict no recording rule.
But you know what? They didn't actually tell you about it until after you were already in. So I was like sitting there vlogging people recording, like playing, with all the stuff happening on the screen, and nobody told me that you couldn't record until I got into the line and I set up my camera, and he was all like, try not to get the screen. I'm like, oh yeah, this is just facing my face right now. It's fine. So they were fine with that, but...
How long was the line to do it?
The first one that we went into really wasn't that bad. There was probably like 20 people in it or something, maybe a little bit more, but it goes really fast because every time somebody leaves, like both sides open up for 6 people.
Yeah.
But the second day when I tried to go, it was like 1 full lineup, 3 full lineups that they had. So I was like, yeah, I'm not down to clown with that.
Yeah, that's a long way. It's only one game they let you play?
The first day was TDM. Yeah, they only let pay 1 match at a time. Yeah, so like once, yeah. Which I kind of get. It keeps the line moving faster. But yeah, that's what I mean. It was hard to get like a good feel for the game just with like 1 match.
Am I a psycho for thinking all I could think is how dirty those controllers must be?
No, I think that too.
Ugh.
I don't know. I picked this trip to kind of be weird. When I went on my first flight, it was like they had like hand sanitizer wipes in the bathroom, and I just took a row of them. And like every time I got into a new plane, I would like wipe down the armrest, the tray, and like the thing that moves the tray. They must have thought I was OCD, but I was like, not today, germs.
Yeah, because you got the nerd flu from DreamHack, right?
Yeah, Atlanta. And it was probably, honestly, more from the planes, because planes are super dirty and they recycle the air. So because the air is recycled, even though I cleaned everything off that I was touching, like even the air recycling makes it rough. So I'm hoping I don't get
breathing in shit all close together. Do you feel good now?
I feel okay right now. Like I'm pretty tired just because I didn't sleep at all really much from Sunday to Monday morning when I went for my flight. So
Damn.
I'm just a little
tired.
I was turning up.
I'm really sad I didn't go, man. But I can look forward, you know. I can try to get over this anxiety shit that I got. I'm actually seeing somebody about it, like a professional. And so I urge you, if you got like anxiety, depression, something like that.
That's going to affect your ability to like do day-to-day things.
Yeah, like leak into your life. Then I highly suggest getting help for it because it can help. And I actually have to fly in 2 weeks. Like I have to.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I had to.
You did
before, yeah, but like I have to because I'm going to be going down to Dallas to look for a place to live. That is important. Like I need to go down there and check it out and look at it. I'm going to be looking at some apartments. I think I can say that now because they said it in the OpTic podcast. Most people's will be in apartments.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
There might be exceptions to that.
I don't want to talk about private conversations, but I may or may not have heard somebody talking about how it was going to be more of like an office setup where people would go to work rather than waking up to work.
I'm not going to confirm or deny that, but I will say this. In 2010, in a Skype call with Hector, he said, one day we are going to have an office building that's OpTic, where you would have a place to work that's OpTic.
And I've discussed it, honestly, even just not even talking from an OpTic standpoint. I made that point in a video about team houses, and I talked about this with somebody before, where it's like, even though it's like living in team houses themselves are pretty cool, the fact that even though like I myself wake up and I do all my work for YouTube here, there is something different about, you know, you wake up in the morning, you go somewheres, it's not as easy to be like, well, I'm just going to have a nap. Because like you're at the office, so you get more in that headspace that I'm here, I'm going to do work, I'm going to be working on this, you know? I
shouldn't say I never wanted to live in the OpTic house because I think anyone would take that opportunity to like, the thing is that I really wanted to work with like-minded people. It's really hard when you're by yourself, especially doing like the kind of content that YouTube kind of seems to crave with the trends. Yeah. It's difficult to do it like by yourself. So when you have other creators around you, that's good. So a team house in that aspect's like, yeah, that's really cool. But then you get to a point where everyone's in the same house. They're basically experiencing things together because they're all like when they all went putt golfing. And then you get 4 exact same perspectives. Like they're from different people, but they're exact same perspectives.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they all go home to the same place and they're around each other all the time. And so maybe it eventually seems to have gotten stale, right?
Yeah, and then I feel like even from a content perspective, you first get there, everybody's new, everything's fresh, everything's exciting, but then it's like after like 3 months, it's like I've seen these people every single day, we do the same things every single day, it's hard to. Whereas like if it's like, I want to make this video, we're going to meet at the office at 2 p.m., then it's like, okay, you have a set time, it's like, oh man, everybody's just chilling around, you know, you're like, okay, you ready to make that video? And then that other person's like, oh, you know, like I'm going to like shower and I got to do this. So like if everybody has like the set time to get somewhere, I think I'm
really excited for it. Like I said, I really want to let Hector and Jay talk about specifics, but
absolutely,
I'm very excited to have an opportunity to get more mixed in with content and the environment that I think that this is going to produce, not just like for me as a content creator, but the whole team as a content creators, and the content that will come out from it is going to be really good. Because like you said, like when you have like, because it seems like at the team house, specifically the OpTic one, it's just kind of like you wake up and you're like, oh yeah, I guess, well, this is really hot on YouTube right now, let's do that. Which is good, but it's not really like a direction. Like you need to have like-minded people in a working environment, thinking of new ideas and putting those into action instead of just waking up and be like, oh, I guess we'll do this. Like now it'll be like, okay, here we are. we have these people here, and this is, I mean, we're going to be in a city too.
Yeah.
So you're going to get to see everyone's own perspective of their life because they're not all crammed in a mansion.
Yeah.
Which is obviously dope, but...
It is, but then it's like everybody gets on these different sleep schedules, and that like destroys some people's ability to make content because it's like, well, I'm the type of person who needs to get this much amount of sleep, and I like sleeping, you know, from like, you know, 12 p.m. to like 9 a.m. But then you've got some people that are like literally going to sleep at 9 a.m. So it's like all these different dynamics of people in a house, and I feel like it messes up everybody's natural flow. Whereas if you have your own place, you're on your own schedule, and then sometimes in between you just find time to work with other people, which is which I think it's operative.
I think that's super important, and I think I'm just super excited for the opportunity because, like I said, I never lived in the OpTic house before. I'm sure it's a great time, but I think this is a better way to approach content, especially when you have we have this many people, right? So to do it in this way, I think is just going to be so much better. So you get to see everyone's own journey, but at the same time collaborate in a creative space, and put out great content, and just. It's going to be dope. I'm really excited. Yeah. So I am going down in a couple weeks.
That's awesome.
To go look at shit. The flight is short. Fuck, man, I hate flying, dude. I'm more mad at myself than anyone else, though. Because it's the only, if you look at it from the big picture, the only person I'm hurting, other than maybe we told people that we would do a live episode. I'm sure they don't really care that much.
It hurt me a little bit.
I'm sorry, Amanda.
It's okay. It really wasn't a big deal.
Like, It's so weird, man. It's such a weird, like, mental block. It's like a mental block. It's not even like, oh, I'm afraid of flying. It's not that. It's like I literally have anxiety.
Builds and builds and builds. It's like when people have really bad depression and physically can't get themselves out of bed, and somebody's like, why don't you just shower? You'll feel so much better after a shower. And they're just like, I physically cannot.
Dude, it's the weirdest thing. I can't even describe it, and it doesn't make sense to anybody who hasn't felt it themselves.
No, it's because like the brain is super powerful. So
I really despise when people say they will do something and then they don't do that thing. I hate that. And so when I do that myself, I'm disgusted with myself. Like,
same.
Why? And the fact that I told everybody was so embarrassing, right? Maybe next time I'll just fucking show up. It'll be like a surprise.
To be fair, like nobody was like upset about it or anything. People were just like, people that were psyched to see you were like, oh my God, why isn't she here? And like, I didn't want to be mean, but didn't want to say, oh, she just decided not to come. I was like, no, she's dealing with some like anxiety issues with flights. And I was like,
no, you can say that. That's because that's the truth. I'm never in the one thing too. It is an embarrassing problem. I'm a little embarrassed by it, but I'm not embarrassed by the fact that I'm looking to get help with it, and also it's best to be honest about it. I'm not going to say, oh, well, something horrible happened and I had to stay home. Like, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I didn't want people to be like, something really bad must have happened, or she just like effed off and didn't care about being here.
People thought that something really bad happened because I was like, so sure. And you messaged me right away. You were like, oh, shit.
I was like, are you okay? Like,
and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just fucking really weird about flying, dude.
No, and I was like, no, that made me feel better. I was all like, damn, it must have been something super bad. So I just wanted to make sure other people weren't like, oh my God, I can't believe she decided not to come when this is like OpTic's big year. And I'm like, no, it's OpTic's big year. There's a really good reason why she's not here.
No, yeah, it sucks. But like I said, I'm getting help for it. I have medication for it that makes me mad tired and hopefully not care. It's such a dumb thing too, though, because like I know that people would lurch at the opportunity that I have, right? Like you get to fucking fly to Orlando, a very nice place, to go to a great thing and meet great people, surround yourself with friends. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Like
that should let them know how bad it was.
So I don't know. I'm not too into talking about, because like I said, I really hate when people talk about shit and they don't do it. And so that's where I'm at with it. I'm at a point, I'm also at a kind of a weird point in my life where it's time to go, right? Like it's time to go. Because the fact that I'll be moving to Dallas and all this stuff with like this great content creation opportunities, like it's time. It's time to put in the work. Like I've worked and wanted an opportunity like this for years. So here we go. It's time. Let's do it. Yeah.
Invite me out.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Girl, I'll have a couch. Or I might have two beds eventually. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of having a bed like in my gaming setup room.
No, I get it. Dude, I'm fine with the floor.
But
I'm fine with the floor.
Dude, in Texas, they have all hardwood though.
Get a sleeping bag.
Yeah, an air mattress or something.
Yeah.
Dude. All right, so CoD Champs. Let's wrap this up. 3 great things from the event from you, because you went.
I did.
So 3 great things that happened. Go.
Three great things that happened. Okay, well,
CoD Champs.
Obviously meeting people is always such an amazing opportunity. You know, I love getting a chance to like hook up with like-minded individuals in the same space.
Word.
OpTic winning was probably the main highlight because I was like so excited about that because after that morning match with Envy, I was like, they might not have this. But I know I was like, first I was like, it's the morning, it's their first match. They're like kind of cold right now, but like that they let Envy walk all over them the way that they were walking all over everybody else the entire weekend. So I was like, they might not have this. Like, I feel like I was pretty confident that they could have taken one series off of them, but I really didn't think they were going to take the second best of 5. But then once they finished the first best of 5, I was like, they can do this.
Once they 3-0'd Luminosity with the quickness, like Luminosity's a great fucking team. Like they have fallen a little bit towards the end of the season, but
Luminosity, they won Anaheim. They won Anaheim.
Yes, they sure did, and they won. I think. Well, no, because there was no other people talking mad shit about OpTic this year. There is no other team that won more than 1 time, more than 2 times, more than 3 times, and we won 4 times, including Champs.
OpTic.
So we were cool in IW.
We were, and people just don't. You were.
It's undisputed, bro. And so now, well, I'm gonna let you keep going with your things, but there's more I want to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's your third thing that was dope?
Third thing that was dope. Oh man, I'm trying to think here. Obviously, trying World War II was great. Like just seeing how everybody was getting so hyped about that because a lot of people that we were hanging out with were like Grind Squad members and just different snipers from different teams. So seeing them get like super hyped about it was awesome. I live streamed from the event. That was actually probably one of my highlights.
Oh yeah, I missed it. I wanted to watch it, but I thought it might bum me out. Also, I tried to really, aside from Sunday where I was really tweeting a lot, I tried to kind of disconnect. I got sunburnt. Y'all can't. Well, maybe you can't tell. I got sunburnt.
No, it's good. Just take a step back from everything.
Yeah, I went outside. Shit was crazy. My freaking sunburnt my boobs, dude. This shit hurts so bad. Like I can't sleep. I have to sleep on my back. I don't sleep on my back. It stresses me out.
Well, damn. Get ice packs and just line.
Now I got aloe vera.
Okay, that's solid. That's
Bless
solid.
the aloe plant.
Yeah, the live stream worked. Like that, the venue Wi-Fi was good enough to stream off of.
I mean, that's like a basketball arena, dude. It better be.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
I know, but it was free. It was free. I was like, hell yeah. It was free Wi-Fi.
That's
cool. I did a speed test. Like Rachel was streaming because she had a Wi-Fi card that like gets charged to like her dad's company or something. So like she was streaming. Fine. It's like a Wi-Fi card that you can connect to, and it like I don't even know.
Holy shit! The future is now.
The future is now. So she was streaming off of that. She might have been So she ran into no issues. I got a couple of signal issues occasionally when I was down in the actual stadium. That was actually kind of an issue for the layout. Was not a huge fan of it. But
the layout?
It's because it was in the stadium. All of the merchant stuff was outside where people would get food during games. And then the matches were actually happening down where the basketball matches would. It didn't have that open field that events usually have where like, you know, the main stage is here, but then you might have like the merch booth over around here. So it was like you were either watching Call of Duty or you weren't watching Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah. You had to like seek stuff out like merch and food and
which was cool. But it's like, the way that, it's just to compare, the way that the Super Smash Brothers events I've gone to work, the first 2 days are that open hall where like all of the stuff is like interconnected. So like you got the different playing booths and just the stuff like the vendors, the merchants and all that stuff. So you have so many different options. And then over somewhere else is where you have the different setups where people are playing to actually compete. And then you had like smaller stages set up for that. But then on Championship Sunday is when they get this like really nice stadium hall where like you go to specifically to watch the matches. And like both of the Smash events I went to work that way, where technically Championship Sunday was at a different location, or at least in a different location in the same area. Because a lot of people were pissed off that it wasn't at the Orlando Convention Center. It was at the Amway Center. So
I feel like most people, well, I can't say because I was there, but the players definitely preferred the arena. And I feel like for the mass, like they've hosted many Call of Duty tournaments in convention centers. I think the last 2 champs, one was at the Forum, which is like an arena, but it's not like a sports arena. Yeah. And then this one was at where the Orlando Magic play. And so I don't know. I kind of like it better. People seem to like that they had food options, like at other champs. Like,
but there's no reason why you can't add food in a convention. because they were letting you bring the food down to watch things. It's just for
no,
whatever
yeah,
reason.
you can't. Well, they have to have food trucks outside. You have to go outside to get the food. Whereas here, it's like go up the stairs. You got a beer.
That was cool.
Or whatever.
It made it really hard for if you didn't have a media badge. It made it really hard to get any kind of content. It made it like really, really, really hard.
That makes sense.
That was rough. So from my standpoint, I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want to make you upset. But they were like, your name is here for one, but you can't get it because the person that put your name down for it is not here. But you can have general admission passes. And I was like,
oh, what?
Okay, yeah,
that's crazy. So I had to go with you.
Apparently.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I was like, I'm not gonna like.
Not
I'm not
really.
Here to specifically. I was like, I'm not. Well, even Roger from TK couldn't get a media badge. He had to pretend he was a coach. He had to get a coach badge. Yeah.
They don't even allow coaches, do they?
They do. Yeah, coaches are allowed now.
What?
Yeah, coaches are allowed now.
So here's the misstep at Champs from World War II. Well, you didn't probably watch the after show of the stream.
No, I didn't.
It was very bad. And I say that as someone who doesn't like to hate on... I don't like to hate. I don't like being a hater.
No, nobody wants to be a hater.
The after show... There's two missteps. The after show, immediately after OpTic winning and this big celebration, cuts to this poor girl. She's a content creator, so I will not say anything bad about her, but she misread on the teleprompter, and so everyone roasted her. I feel bad.
I didn't even notice.
And then they had Rampage Jackson. I think that's his last name. Rampage MMA fighter.
Okay.
I follow. He actually Twitch streams quite a bit. I follow him, his little journey. I think it's cool. He went from MMA to like he really likes video games. I just think it's really cool when like people you wouldn't expect, to like stream on Twitch do. So I think that was cool. And then they had Doug. Face Censor.
I saw that, yeah.
Good guy. Maybe not the best show host in this particular instance. And then they had that rich guy who like is really like a hype guy, does the interviews and stuff. So it was a combination of bad because what they should have cut to was like after every single match they had the analysts breaking it down.
Yeah, which would have been...
Why did they not do that? Why were there no interviews, really?
Yeah.
There was a very short interview segment. And they were taught, and the show seemingly had no structure. They tried to, like, work in this meme angle. And, like, so it would be, like, you know how Scump did the 3-0 thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So none of them, except for Rich, knew what that was from or why that happened. And it was just super bad. So the only reason I watched it, though, was to know whether it was Karma who got the MVP or if Formal got the MVP, because Formal I think was the MVP of the event, but Karma was by far and away the MVP of the finals.
This finals.
Yeah. During the finals, he was so clutch in so many different instances, and so
absolutely,
I thought he could have been a king. If Karma would have got it instead of Formal, I wouldn't have been that surprised.
No, like it could have gone either way for sure.
But Formal did a really great job all weekend, so he got MVP, super deserved. Yeah. And so it was really bad. And then the other thing I think they misstepped was after that, because now everyone's mind after that went from, oh my God, that was so amazing. And now we're going into World War II. Why? And the beta is 2 weeks away. So why are they not saying, okay, here you go. Why is there no competitive news about World War II after?
Yeah,
like, why isn't there a trailer that's like, I mean, maybe it's just because they don't know like the game modes yet and they don't have... But, like, they've confirmed that there's going to be game battles and ranked play at launch.
They did, yeah.
So, why is there no trailer for that? What, like, you're literally the heart of the Call of Duty competitive community has eyes on this event, and you can't do a good post-show and then a trailer for what the future could have?
I don't know, because they're still trying to push IW, because the stuff that they were handing out was, like, customization packs and stuff for players. So I think that even though everybody mentally is all like, we're done with this game, they're still, like... We still have like 4 months to make money off of this thing. So
I disagree so strongly. They have dumped IW, bro. They have. It's sad to say, but they've dumped it.
They did.
They have not promoted it nearly as much as they've promoted other things from Modern Warfare Remastered, Black Ops 3. Like if it was just IW this year and they didn't have Black Ops 3's big player base or MWR. And also, like, just this beta hype, especially around this time of year, because last year, the IW beta wasn't even until, like, super late October, right?
Yeah, it was November. It was in November. It was like...
That's so weird, bro.
Yeah, it was, like, 2 weeks before the game officially came out. It was so weird.
It makes sense. They have pretty much, I mean, especially after this event, I can't see them doing... I mean, I'm sure they'll still have, like, a plan of content. I don't know if there's more maps that come out for it, or if they're adding new guns or whatever. I'm sure they have content coming out for
they
IW.
Must, because they're still adding content to BO3.
From a promo aspect, I think they're like, let's put all our eggs in this World War II beta
And they
basket.
should have, then they should have definitely showed that.
It would have been dope if they were giving away like, I don't know. I guess
that's what I thought they were giving out. Everybody, we were walking out, we were so excited when we just see like, I was like, oh my god, they're giving out beta codes for this. And then it's like customization codes for IW, and I was like,
I mean, that's kind of dope because customization codes are, you know, a really big part of events, and it makes sense because it was IW being played at Champs that they would do that.
Oh yeah, but I was fine with it. I was like, I'll take it.
I mean, as a person who's already hyped for War II, I think they could have really hyped it up more. They could have really been like, and now we're going back to boots on the ground next season. Like, maybe they're just waiting until closer to release that the trailer is going to come out or whatever, because they will have some kind of competitive thing. Or did Gamescom already happen? It's actually been known in the past that Gamescom is where competitive news has come out before.
I can't remember.
I might have just made that up, but I remember like Black Ops 3 Gamescom is when competitive stuff came out. And then the beta happened. So we'll see. One question I have now, OG couldn't win champs in Jetpacks until IW. I actually think that might be better timing, because now you have Karma. You have literally 4. You could maybe debate Formal because he didn't come until Ghost, but you have 4 of the best boots on the grounds players from Black Ops 2
and
Ghost.
They're already together on one team.
Right. And so going into next year, they've got to feel really good.
Oh, they must, because like I feel like a lot of teams might begin to a point where they're like, okay, well, I don't feel like we have somebody who's proven boots on the ground, or we have somebody specifically that really, really glowed up for Jetpacks, and we don't think they're going to be able to handle it. So there's probably some teams that are really considering switching players around. And we had talked about it before, because when FaZe got rid of Clayster, we were like, that seems like a really, really short-sighted decision to maybe do well at this final event, but then not necessarily carry it over into the next coming game, which you know, because Clayster is like a boots on the ground like dominator.
Yeah, he was like one of the best ARs of all time in boots.
Exactly.
And
so, they traded that.
And ARs are so crucial. We don't know what the game modes are going to be yet, but I've got to assume at least Hardpoint is going to be in there, and Search. And so those two things, I mean, Clayster was a complete tank in Black Ops 2, right? And so And I don't know. People say, well, if you're a jetpacker, there's no way you'll be good in boots. I don't necessarily think that's true.
I don't agree with that.
I think that if you have good okay, so the difference to me in jetpack competitive versus boots competitive is that jetpack is way more about trades and retakes, which obviously is still important in boots, but it's not the cornerstone of competitive. So this quick reaction time, high flying type of fast pace and gameplay that a lot of people might actually enjoy watching rather than boots. I don't personally, but like I don't want to say it takes less skill to do that, but they're just two different things. So in boots, it's about map control. People say, oh, well, everyone's going to be head glitching. Yeah, because it's about map control. You have to work as a team to control the clutch or the choke points of the map. And so, and you have to rotate together. You have to really work as a team, like, and really be good, right?
Yeah.
And so... I don't know, man. I don't necessarily think the jetpack players are going to struggle that bad, because I think that, but it depends on the teams, right? Because you have to have good teamwork.
I feel like the players that used to be boots on the ground that did, because you see the reverse. There's tons of boots on the ground players that did really well in jetpack. Some of them couldn't. Some of them couldn't handle it. But I feel like those ones didn't really try to. They were just like, this as a concept is too weird to me. I don't want to try to be good at it. Yeah, it was like they just backed off. Yeah, because I feel like you can adapt to it, and obviously it's very different. But you know, like. It really is the core mechanics are not the core mechanics, but like the core purpose of what you're supposed to be doing is the same. It's just that with jetpacking, instead of just having to worry about people being on the ground, around corners, in like little side things, you have to worry about them also just jumping straight up in the air. Like you have to. I feel like you actually have to pay attention to more things visually with jetpacks. Visually and reflex wise, you have to be anticipating more things. But I think that potentially just made these players have better reflexes going into something like boots on the ground. They'll really be able to snappy react to things.
Chaos does not equal competitive.
Exactly. No, that's true. And
I mean, it's going to be really a change of gears too. I think even just the regular play, not even the competitive community, but the regular player base of Call of Duty might be a little bit, they say, oh, it's so boring. Or people that play MWR, they're like, this is boring. And so I feel like as long as they do the maps well for World War II.
It felt good. Like the only thing, like nothing felt slow. Everything still felt like it was moving like at a good pace.
It's not like you spawn in and then you're like taking forever to get back into the action. Because if that's the case, then people I could see getting bored.
No, like it's really like the way that it's mapped out. I honestly feel like I have a harder time getting back into the action in like IW sometimes with the maps because like everybody just, I don't know, sometimes they just spawn you out where no one else is. Like I find a lot of the times.
Are rough, dude.
I know, that's what I mean. So I actually feel like these maps are laid out better so that the alleys are way more, you know, not necessarily defined, but you can basically anticipate somebody's going to be there within like, you know, 5 to 10 seconds of you spawning, you know?
Right.
So
I think it's important. I don't know. I think World War II competitive would be really good. They seem to be supporting it off the bat with a ranked playlist. And the game battles integration is one of the first thing I thought when MLG was acquired by Activision was that there's going to be like an actual competitive in the game. And so I don't know if I haven't used the feature, but apparently if you get a GB match online, obviously your gamer tag or your PSN is connected to your account. And so it will create a lobby of the rules of the match that you have.
Which is so good.
So nice. And then you just join it. Yeah. Or maybe you have to be the creator of, I'm not sure like who gets host in that scenario. If maybe you have to like click it for, I don't know how that works.
Yeah, but either way, it's way better.
Or maybe it'll be on dedicated servers. That would be the goal.
That would be really great.
Amazing.
Not having to worry about somebody else's host.
It's 2017.
And they might be working towards that if they are so dedicated to having having it as an integrated feature. They might be more willing to like set up those dedicated servers. So
please, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough to say whether or not they will or won't, or they do or don't already for dedicated servers. But it'd be great. And so I'm excited for that. I think that easy access and being able to understand is what gets people into competitive. And also the in-game viewer is back, which is great. I think, did they do that in Black Ops 3 or just IW? They have like an in-game viewer where you can watch streams. It's very cool.
Yeah, I don't think...
I want to say it started in Black Ops 3. I don't know.
I can't remember.
Blame Vondar. No,
blame Vondar.
But I don't know, man. I'm just super excited for the future. It seems like Sledge is really understanding it on top of it. It's kind of ironical that they took us from the ground into the air, and now kind of symbolic that we're going back with them.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like they've always been pretty open to people, like, you know, like for all the things that people complain about with AW, I think they did a lot of things right. It was just that some of the core components of the game turned out that after using them, people weren't necessarily a fan of. I think they still did a lot of things right, you know?
They did. I hope that this year's focus is on weapon balance. And I hope that they are able to stay true to the they're going to have variants, but they're not going to be statistic variants. It's going to be the same type of variants that Black Ops 3 has. So it's like your quick draw grip, which you can put on as an attachment, and it costs a point on your class.
Yeah. That's the way it should be.
You can make it look cooler, right? It doesn't actually change how quick it is, though.
Exactly. So, that's good.
That's good. But it's a fine fucking line, man. It really is. If they start adding like 20 melees and then they start adding like Galils or whatever the fuck they do.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that they are careful for it. I don't really mind the weapons in Black Ops 3 because I don't think that they are very overpowered. They all kind of have a really weird balance to them.
Yeah.
But they are so incredibly difficult to earn, especially at this point when there's thousands of items. So if they do it, which I think they are, the World War II supply drop system is going to look really similar to MWR's current system, which I think gets 2 thumbs up from me and a fidget spinner. So
hell yeah, 2 thumbs and a fidget spinner.
Yes, I'm hype. But I mean, I could literally talk about World War II all day. How much? Good. So are you still the same hype after playing it at Champs, or you're a little bit higher?
I've always been the same hype for it, but that's just because I learned sometime around the time that Wolverine Origins came out that maybe sometimes when you're excited for something, you should still try to stay as neutral as possible. So then if it is amazing, you go way up to here and it's good. And then if it's bad, you're not as disappointed. But then if you're already up here and it kind of meets your expectations, you can only go hype so much. So I like to try to keep myself leveled. I know that I'm going to need like a couple days of like really playing it to. I didn't get that, obviously.
And even the beta isn't the best indicator.
It's not, because they'll change a lot from the time the beta is released, and
which is good. Out. People were like pissed that they changed so much from Black Ops 3 beta to release, but they had to, like, with all that data that you give them from the beta, like,
I know
they're using that to tune their game, and so it's a good thing. So I mean, I don't know. You heard it here first on Powered Down. The key to life is low expectations. Yeah, I know that I should not be as hyped as I am.
But you can't help it.
But the last time I was this hyped was for Black Ops 3, and I ended up absolutely loving Black Ops 3.
There you go. Yeah.
And so I hope that it's the same with this, and I'm already curious. I know I shouldn't be, but I'm already curious what Treyarch's working on. Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
World War II? World War III? Apparently, maybe Civil War. How's that for a transition? War. Jesus Christ.
And actually, I have another one because apparently I have to stop doing this.
Oh, yeah. This is
like, a new white power symbol.
Dude, I thought that was like an onion thing that I read. I was like,
I hope it is.
Because this is like a W and then
but even if it is an onion thing, somebody who is going to find it and unironically take it and they're going to use it anyways.
They're going to ruin the OK, just like they ruined Pepe.
Which it is OK.
It's literally OK.
That's literally what it is. No more 3 O's.
I literally thought it was a meme, but I guess it's not. I guess people are serious and calling that a white power symbol. You were a little distracted this weekend because you were traveling.
I was.
But I was not, bro. I went to the gym on Saturday and I looked up at the TV. Yeah, girl, I've been going. I'm getting a lot stronger, actually. I've noticed I'm able to lift heavier things.
Hell yeah.
The more that I go. And I'm even like, I don't want to I know people get super lost at fitness talk sometimes. But I've found I'm figuring out what's the best way to do it for me as I go. I'm learning as I go.
Yeah.
And so, it's good.
That's the way to do it.
But, so I was at the gym, and I look up at the freaking TV, and MSNBC's on, and I see these people fighting, and I see a really weird-looking flag in the crowd, and I'm like, oh, what country is this in? And then I look closer. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm really, like, squinting to see what the fuck that says.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait a minute, this is in America! What?
Yeah, trust me. We were paying attention. We all woke up that morning, and people are, like, checking their phones and being like, so there's, like, a Nazi white power, white supremacist thing going on in Charlottesville? And I was like, are you kidding me? And then you look at pictures and I'm like, none of them are hiding their faces. They all have flags out. Half of them are dressed like Donald Trump at a golf course. I don't say that to be catty. Like they were literally wearing the same outfit.
Bro, they totally ruined khakis and polos, man. I'm pissed.
Ain't no more khakis and polos for no one.
Fuck, man. Like, I love my khakis sometimes if I want to look really fucking weird.
Just no polo on top. Just no polo. Button down.
I gotta say, man, I'm really disappointed. Obviously, counter-protesters are going to show up to that stuff. And so, I mean, a lot of you guys probably know, so we're going to give you the basic rundown. The Power Down rundown.
The Power Down rundown.
So, in Charlottesville, they're going to remove a Confederate statue. They haven't done it yet, but they signed that they're going to do it. And for some reason, people really like to see these racist, like, symbolic statues in public. I personally believe that they should be in a museum where you can still respect the history of everything that happened, but it's maybe, you know, not at everyone's faces every day.
Yeah. That's my opinion. Was it? What statue was it, Ashley?
Fuck, man. It might have been George Washington. No.
It's Robert E. Lee. The one that you should have mentioned in the podcast.
Who did I call him?
The other guy. Now I can't remember.
Benjamin Franklin. No.
No.
I got his name mixed up.
It was the other general from the other side. That was the one that was fighting them.
Fuck Robert E. Lee.
Yeah, so, that's what I mean. And like people are defending him, being like, no, people weren't racist back then. They were just fighting for their towns. And I was like, they were fighting to keep slaves. And
I'm pretty sure like
you can't work around that.
The torture, rape, and enslaving of people based on their skin color should not really be represented in a statue in our modern society. If you disagree with me and Amanda, I respect your opinion. I don't agree with it, but I respect it. I definitely don't think, though, that people... here's the thing. So these counter-protesters show up. So the white nationalists, the neo-Nazis, the alt-right, this was all organized by an alt-right group. So they go down there with their tiki torches from Home Depot. They might have got a bulk discount. Who knows? They bought so many. And they're down there, like you said, with no hoods on, which is, I mean, fan-fucking-tastic. They're already IDing these people. They're losing their jobs.
And like,
and I think
barely see any women. I just want to point that out. There was like, I'm sure there were some there, but I did not, in any of the pictures, I did not see a single woman at any one of these things.
I saw one.
You saw one?
Yeah, and she was holding a freshly folded from Amazon, probably Nazi flag. It was really weird. But it's just insane. I think, obviously, I think that people should counter protest.
Yes.
But also, I believe in peaceful protest. I don't believe, and I'm going to get maybe flack for this, because a lot of my Facebook friends, a lot of people I follow on Twitter, and just people that I know, they are for the punch a Nazi thing, the hashtag punch a Nazi, and they're getting violently attacked. I don't agree with that. I think that we have to shun these fucking people, dude. Like, these people need to be shunned from society. They don't belong in our society.
Yeah, but that's the other argument, is that some of these people have been shunned and not listened to so much that it has let them, the people that are automatically, that yes, there's some that are volatile, there's no way you're ever going to change their opinions, that has given them the power to get the moderates, to like the people that might have the occasional crappy opinion, to like come to their side, being like, these people are jumping on you so fast for a little bit of an opinion, instead of maybe trying to like calmly change your opinion on it, that they are now going full force the other way. So I don't know what the best way to deal with this is.
I definitely think that that's true, because and especially some of the things that I've seen come out, like there was this guy, this father of one of the kids that's there. He's like, he's so young too. These kids are so young. It's what makes me think that like they're just getting. It's like other. Well, would you look at
like
this?
ISIS.
It's like other extremist groups. It's like they
ISIS.
take a
It's
vulnerable
like
young person,
and when angry about the system. And you twist it. You twist it into something that they become so entwined. And even from a racist standpoint, I don't know if you ever saw the movie American History X.
I haven't, and I should, and I know
it's
that.
Like absolutely amazing. And honestly, I would probably recommend like anybody that is kind of wondering how people can get to the point where they agree with Nazis should watch this movie.
Some of these fuckers are citing that movie as inspiration, though.
Which is because up until a certain point, I can see why they would. Like I even when they weren't close friends, but I had friends who were friends with friends, because when I was growing up, I was in like the punk community when I was in high school and stuff. And there were some of them that literally went to the end of being neo-Nazis, and they would literally be like, American History X is amazing up until the ending or something, or up until this part.
Yeah, I agreed with everything until they tried to stop it. Like,
yeah,
what?
Exactly. I agreed with everything until they became better people. So it was like really, really screwed up. And like listening to them talk, I'm like, you sound like an idiot. And now it's worse. It's worse. Like somebody lost their lives because people didn't want a statue to be pulled down. I agree. It was a lot bigger than that. They used that as like the catalyst. Their message.
They've been waiting for a moment like this, I feel like.
Oh,
then this subgroup has existed. I remember it was really big in the 90s. The skinhead thing
there was
in the 90s was a really big push by the neo-Nazis. I remember it. I mean, I was really young, but I still remember that being like a thing.
Where the
never like this though, right?
No, because here it was always teenagers. It was like teenagers that were just kind of didn't have a way to really organize themselves. And I remember they sent a bunch of them to this one school, and that was where they were trying to like reform them. But at the same time, what does that do? It just puts everybody with the same mindset in the same spot. So
yeah,
it's like
I feel for these families that have kids there, and maybe on one hand you might have really racist parents, and so you grow up with this idea that this is the way it is. Or on the flip side, like I was saying, this father disowned his son because like obviously it's really bad what his son is doing, and also the rest of his family is getting tagged like, oh, will you raise this kid? Like when you have kids that are like college age and they feel disenfranchised and they feel like marginalized, like they feel like they have no power, and so they turn to groups like this, extremist groups, whether it's on the left or the right. I'm not even trying to get political about it.
We've had the conversation that the people that are so extreme on the left are actually they're influencing each other. There's people that are too far on both sides. And I'm not making that argument the same way Donald Trump did, because he should have specifically said condemning the actions of white supremacists and Nazis, not from both sides. Yeah, violence shouldn't be tolerated from everything. And there are some people on the extreme left that are just as bad as this side. But that was an actual like white supremacist, like pre-birth, like Nazi rally. Like if it ever gets to the point where that blows up and becomes huge across the country, that will be cited as the moment that it really started.
Bro,
like that will be that's.
Whose man's is this?
That.
He took 4 days or whatever, 3 days to like denounce. Yeah, like say it. Everyone else is say it. Paul Ryan saying it.
It didn't come across as like the same way when he's talking about like ISIS and stuff. Like it just it just didn't come across like
It was very it was not genuine. It felt not genuine, and because it took so long, and because even like other big Republicans were immediately like, fuck Nazis.
And I'm sorry,
I shouldn't curse, but F Nazis.
Yeah, F Nazis. And we know how he acts when he sees something he hates, because he is so quick on Twitter to just blow up on everything. So that lets you know that him using that word 4 days later was not genuine. We all know.
Not even to get political, because I really don't like to bring politics into the podcast. If you're right, left, middle, I'm middle personally.
Whatever. Yeah.
I respect your opinion. I get called a liberal all the time because I just don't fuck with Trump. I don't.
And I don't think that because there's tons of Republicans who don't fuck with Trump either. Like,
did you see I forget what company it was from. It was Under Armour also. The CEO of Under Armour pulled out of one of his like what's it called? Not cabinet, but his like advisor board. No.
Oh, like the advisory panels or whatever.
I can't think of the exact word, but they worked with the president. So he resigned, and also another one from another company. Here we go, powered down facts. Another guy from a CEO of a major company, bounced out of his thing because of Trump's inability to denounce neo-Nazism and stuff. And so, and what's the first thing that Donald Trump does is goes on Twitter and denounces the guy who just dropped out. Like,
yep. That's what I mean. It's
like I said, not reaction. To get political, but just seeing how he reacts to things and acts is so worrying, bro.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not even this passionate about it, but I'm scared. Yeah,
I wouldn't blame you,
bro. I'm getting too fired up. I'm getting way too fired up about this.
Yeah, I found the list. So it's Under Armour's Kevin Plank.
It was the other guy,
and then pharmaceutical giant Kenneth Frazier.
Shout out to Kenneth, man. You did the right thing.
They stepped down. Apparently a third one did too. Yeah.
He literally leaves because of the president's, and this was before Trump had given the second unannounced statement.
Yeah.
He left, and then it's just so fucking mind-blowing, dude.
It is. I don't
get it. Like I said, right or left, you should be concerned about that. That's all I'm saying. You should be concerned about how he acts. Right or left, conservative, liberal, middle, fucking Bernie, whoever. You should be concerned when he acts like that. I am concerned when he acts like that. I'm
Canadian, and I'm concerned.
I mean, we should all be concerned.
Because I don't know how you deal with an issue when the leader of your country isn't willing to immediately say what it is. Acknowledge it for what it is. And I feel like he still hasn't said the words domestic terrorism.
I think what really turned it for him was, maybe pressured him. Maybe the White House pressured him. I'm not sure. I can't say what happened. The White House made a statement being like, just so you know, the president obviously condemns white supremacy and blah, blah, blah. But that was a statement from the White House, and it was like the day after he made the video statement. It's important for the people to hear it because this alt-right group, I forget the stupid-ass site that they are, but they basically rejoiced in the fact that he didn't call them out, and it was on. And the mind-blowing part was this was on Fox News. In this graphic, like this, and they like to say fake news. This was on Fox News, like the most right major news source, right?
Yep.
They're saying that the white nationalist neo-Nazi group is saying that this is a great reaction from the president for us.
The Daily Stormer,
those fucks.
Like that. Yeah.
Very bad. So then, like hours after that, Sir Donald comes on out
and says, yo,
just by the way, like I said the other day, but not really, F these guys, basically. Yeah. And it's just, I guess, like I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying, well, he said it, so now y'all can shut up.
No, it's the way he said it and how long it took.
It's how he denounced the guy that stepped down. It's how long it took, and it's how it came after so much pressure that it makes it feel not genuine. Maybe it is genuine. Maybe he really
said. Yeah, and I don't think he said anything until after that girl died, until she got run over. I don't think he actually made any statement until that happened.
Yeah, people were I seen that they were saying crazy shit about her too. It's like this chick looks like a person who's there for peace. Yeah, she doesn't look like some crazy left person who's there to start a fire and loot buildings.
No.
Right.
And that's, they always jump on that. They're being like, they're just taking advantage of an opportunity to loot. And yeah, you're going to have people like that. Yes, there are always going to be people in any kind of chaotic situation. They're going to try to bastardize it for their own point. Right. There's always going to be mob mentality. When one person gets violent, the other person's going to get too. And that's both sides. And it shouldn't happen. But again, there's not...
I don't want people to take my hate for this alt-right crazy protest as like love for the left showing up and causing problems. I disagree with that as well. I think, and I'm not, like you said, to the point where Donald Trump's like, well, there was problems on all sides. I think that definitely the alt-right should...
This is the bigger problem here.
I mean, the video footage alone is just wild.
It's wild. Like, I saw somebody, like, get flipped over a car. Somebody's... Okay, you know shit seriously when somebody's shoes come off. I saw people's shoes on the ground. Yeah. That means that they got hit so hard, their shoes fell off their feet.
The like 4 white guys that were beating the black guy who was laying defenseless with no weapon on all fours.
Hitting him in the face with poles.
I mean, come on, people. We are so better than this.
If I saw that happening, I would probably want to punch somebody in the face. I would want to punch a Nazi in the face. Like, I kind of understand why they want to respond with violence. And I think a lot, and honestly, the argument I'm seeing from a lot of them is all like, they can't touch me because they'll get a legal battle in their face.
Yeah,
and like,
it seems like really almost trolly. Like, well, I have a right to do this. No, you have a governmental right to do it, but the reaction and free speech of others and businesses who don't want to do business with you because of that. And I saw people even comparing, like, okay, so let's say GoDaddy doesn't want to host your shitty site, right? Because you're breaking their terms of service.
Yeah.
That's not the same as a baker not wanting to make a gay cake.
Yeah.
A gay person is a class citizen. Like, that's a class of citizen. Hate speech is not. It's different, people.
It's different. And that's what they're saying. They're literally saying things like reclaim our country for white Americans only. And which I also find ridiculous because y'all stole, and it happened in Canada too, we stole all of this. We came over from Europe. Technically, we should all be heading back over there. You know, like... I
mean, if we really want to go back to our roots, we should start respecting the natives.
Quick.
And that's no joke.
We should do that anyways. We should do that anyways.
When we don't, and we should. I mean, that's a whole other juicy topic for a different podcast.
But like, this is very, the thing that scares me about this is that I don't know how to solve it because immediately my mind wants to be like, you shouldn't fight violence with violence. But on the other hand, I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know that that's not also a good response that people are saying we are willing to fight, literally fight for our rights and for our people and for all of our citizens. And it was kind of the same thing. People say they don't understand how the Nazis came to power, but it's like in this same kind of way, except that obviously their dictator was 100% not just implying things. He was literally like, we're better than
firing them up. Yeah,
exactly. But this is how stuff like this starts. And
I mean, I'll say this. I think that the alt-right and neo-Nazi white nationalist people, in my mind, they are the super minority. I like to think that. Maybe I'm naive. I like to think that.
But the ones that go that far are the super minority. But then there's those like
kind of ones. I saw so many people on social media making excuses for them. I was like, you are crazy. Like,
you're crazy. You're insane.
Oh, you're so weird, bro.
And apparently they're also like, they're preying on like veterans and stuff too, being like, the reason why you guys aren't getting the rights that you deserve is because they're too busy making government programs for all of these other people. So that's why you're not getting what you deserve, when in fact, that's a whole separate issue that needs to be addressed. That has nothing to do with that. But that's what I mean. That's how they are literally preying on people that way to bring them over to
and extremist groups do that, whether they're on the left, the right, ISIS, it's the same thing. Yes, and they empower young people with ideas, like, because everyone likes to feel like you're better than someone.
We had that conversation that I was at one of the parties. There were some people that I look up to that were gassing me up, and it so quickly makes you feel so good. And they do that. They just literally make you feel special.
Right. And so you start to say, oh, yeah. Oh, and if you start to, especially when you say, oh, you're genetically better than like everyone else. And so let's really roll with this. Like,
the reason your life sucks is because you are being denied what should just be yours. Like, you have lost out on, like,
it sounds
crazy when you say it out loud, but that is how they are.
I mean, these are young, angry men, mostly men. I saw one chick in one of the pics.
It is mostly men. And I'm not trying to say anything shitty about guys.
And I want to point out, too, that alt-right does not equal right, and alt-left or Antifa, whatever they call them, it does not represent liberals. These are literally extremists, guys. So, I don't know. We don't really get political on this show. This is probably the most political show we've ever done. But this stuff has to be talked about. I don't know how to fix it. I personally I feel the need to shun these folks from society. I don't feel like they have a integral part of our society, and so I don't think that they should be treated like they do. They should be condemned.
They are very much trying to hide under the veil of like their First Amendment rights, and I hope that people don't try to like, well, maybe we should try to understand them, and maybe this wouldn't happen, and then that gives them more of a platform to speak on. I think that they should be denied the platform to spread the message, and that sends the biggest message to everybody else. But again, it's like one wrong move can just fuel things in a different direction. Like, it's so...
My fear is that stuff like this actually entices those people to feel empowered, and maybe might... both sides. Maybe might force more people to be like, yeah, I'm with these white nationalist guys. Yeah. And like on the left, yeah, let's fuck them up. Like, we're going to protect stuff. Like, no, bro, it's all wrong. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't like it, man. I feel like everyone needs peace and love, positivity.
Peace, love, and positivity.
Cut out the bad guys or girls and just live life and prosper. All right.
It's like the best way I try to describe it to people, and it sounds terrible when people really don't understand what I mean by like, it's like, and a lot of, like I said, a lot of these people, it is just a matter of opportunity. So I'm gonna make a nerd reference for y'all. So you got your Death Eaters in Harry Potter that are literally racist. They are purist racist, but then you see when Voldemort loses his power, a bunch of them just try to back off and just blend back into society like they never did anything wrong. But then the second things start coming back, they jump out in full force. Like, it is very difficult to weed out this kind of thought because it's always there. It's just a matter of who's saying it out loud and who's living life and what's going on behind the closed doors. And you just never know. And there's no way to, I don't think there's ever a way to fully eradicate it, but there are ways to make sure that it doesn't spread in society. And that is kind of the challenge that we're facing right now, is how do we stop this from getting to the point that it encourages people that have moderate thoughts of race. I say moderate thoughts of racism, but, you know, moderate beliefs that maybe they feel like they are being marginalized. They are being, because you get those people that like they're like misinterpret statistics for like how there's different programs for minorities to succeed, and they think that automatically means that they're not going to succeed in life because all the resources are being put elsewhere, and that brings them to the point where they have moderate shitty beliefs all the way down to like neo-Nazi,
super like crazy buck wild. And I think like I see it on both sides online, especially, where they'll say, oh yeah, well, Black Lives Matter did this, so we're doing this. And then vice versa, and the coin flip, and it just goes back and forth and back and forth. And I'm not trying to compare Black Lives Matter to the alt-right, but I'm just saying that's what they're saying. So they're trying to like, it seems so weird that almost all society ends up being team-based. Male, female, left, right. My team's better than your team, so we're going to clash. Like... I just hate that. Maybe I'm just too laid back and too moderate, but I just hate it.
And it's just like you people just don't want to stop, and it's terrible. I do think that, you know, we have a responsibility to denounce it and speak out against it.
Oh, for sure.
And I do think that that's a responsibility that we have.
Needs to be spoken about by white people. I believe that. I believe it's important for people to say that's shitty, no matter what it is, whether it's racism, extreme like sexism. Anything where there's prejudiceness, people need to come together and say, that's shitty. Let's not be like that.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Let's be better than this fear of like different, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I'm not a politician. I don't even claim to be any kind of expert in politics. But we got fired up this episode, dude.
We did. We got fired up.
And disclaimer, if you disagree with us, I know, because we're really going back and forth about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
If you disagree with anything, I mean, it'd be cool if you'd commented, but I am not the type of person that's going to argue with you back and forth about our opinions.
Honestly, the only way I'm going to say that I don't respect your opinion is if you say something like, if I had a rally by me, I'd definitely be out there marching with my white supremacists.
I wouldn't want to associate.
Then I would say, F you, and I will not. There's some people who do things that I can be like, that was kind of crappy of them, but at the end of the day, they're only really hurting themselves type thing. But like, this is like, this is a defining moment in society that people are going to have to pick sides, and they're going to have to stick by their convictions and not just try to let things slide because they don't want to get involved. Like, this is going to be...
And I feel for the people that were there, not from the super far left.
No, but
just the middle people who were like, we need to stop this shit. So let's go and show love, right?
Yeah.
Like, I saw,
we need to show that not all America is like this. We need to show that people are willing to fight for their beliefs and their rights, and the things that, like, people in World War II literally lost their lives fighting overseas, thinking that it could never happen here, are now seeing it happen again.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
It's just it's just really weird. And it kind of, I mean, with all the tension that's been happening in America over the last year or two, it kind of almost makes sense. But I wish that it didn't, man. I wish that there was another way.
It does make sense. It's the same reason why Donald Trump managed to win, because honestly, the Democrats picked, unfortunately, the one person that probably couldn't beat him. And then the way that they tried to promote themselves in that election, really that further marginalized that entire group of people. And
it was done very poorly.
It was
I think that too. I feel like I for clarity, I was a Bernie supporter.
I'm Canadian.
She's Canadian. I wanted Bernie. I voted for Hillary. I didn't really like it.
I didn't. I just thought that what came down to it was her tactics for trying to win unintentionally created people that were way too far left, and then really, really helped build that right, I feel super marginalized argument that just rallied against it.
The basket of
it was going to happen no matter what
thing.
I just think that whole election really,
it was all bad though from both sides, because he was not very great in the election either. I thought there was so many things. I was like, he's not even going to win a primary. Then he did.
No, it's just that she was so bad too. It was just
it was bad. I mean, I typically feel that as someone who lines up in the middle a lot. I feel that both candidates are usually not my favorite. And it's even hard to find a politician where you're like, yeah, I really agree with every single thing this person's saying.
Never happens,
Yeah, and so you kind of just try to go with what's important to you. And I get that. I get that. I understand Republican, not alt-right, but I understand Republican.
I do.
Tendencies. I understand wanting to protect your guns. I understand wanting a free market. Some of that makes sense. On the flip side, I understand the idea of universal health care, and I think that's important. I understand equal rights for every citizen. I understand and want those things. So I'm just so, I want to be a gay marriage gun pro, so it's weird. I'm stuck in the middle.
It's okay. You can, I always said that fiscally, for the most part, I agree with a lot of stuff Republicans do. But the thing is that unfortunately Republican beliefs unintentionally get really intertwined with crappy social issues. Somehow they try to make it's I don't know.
The big thing is still abortion. It's so weird,
I was gonna say that. That's what I mean.
Sorry.
That all gets intertwined there, even though it has it shouldn't. That's what I mean. And we're not trying to start arguments there either. But it's just both sides have issues, and unfortunately, even if you try to keep something completely at a political level, people's prejudices and internal beliefs will always get pulled into stuff like that, and there's really no way. And cultural
people are
norms.
Fired up about it. I'm sure that this may be the most divisive power down. If I have a lot of super right-leaning people, or even left-leaning people that watch this, and they're like, "Wow, she really doesn't go hard on either."
I know,
side, and it's that pisses people off when you're not. I'm on your team. Let's go. If you're not like that, they're like, I don't like that.
There's very few issues where I'm this side is completely right. You are completely wrong. And this whole neo-Nazi thing is one of those issues.
Yes.
You guys are completely wrong, and everybody on this other side is right. And if they go too, that's not talking about how radical they can get on the left side. I'm just saying that if you do not believe that being a neo-Nazi and white supremacist is okay, you are correct and you are on this side. And if you do believe that it's okay and you have some kind of right to this country over everybody else, you are wrong.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm not. And when I bring up the super leftist, Antifa people, I don't mean to say that, they're fueling each other, which in a way they are. But I think that this alt-right group is just so much, way farther off of the American spectrum. Mm-hmm. And they claim that it's patriotic. It just seems so un-American to me how they operate, their beliefs. Mm-hmm. It doesn't match up with modern day. And it just makes me feel like we're in a fucking time machine, Amanda.
I know, it's crazy. Like I feel really bad for veterans that are still alive that have to see this, and they're having their grandchildren have to explain to them what's happening, being like,
if you fought on the beach in Normandy.
And like, unfortunately, I was about to say, fortunately, a lot of them aren't around to see it. Like, it sucks that they're dead, obviously, but it's been so long that a lot of them have passed away over the years. But like, it's like the people that are left, I feel so bad for them.
I saw a picture of this lady. She has to be over 90. She was in a concentration camp and made it out of there.
Yeah.
And so she was at the counter protest being like,
yeah, this is
not the way. Like, I already escaped these fucks.
Yeah, and exactly. And then you had veterans being like, this isn't what we fought for. This isn't the freedom we fought for you to have. This is not the freedom that we fought for.
That's how I don't understand how they rationalize it at all. I don't understand how they rationalize it. Like, I am a rational person who understands when things make sense. None of the neo-Nazism and what's the word? White power people. White supremacists. White nationalists. I just don't understand it. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably a good place to end.
Yeah, we've done a good job on this. I hope you guys like how we covered it. Most fired up we've got about a political issue. Do you think it's a political issue?
I think they're gonna say that it's a political issue, but at this point, this is now a human rights issue. This is a moral issue. That's why it's not. That's why I don't think you can be moderate in this. And if anybody's trying to be moderate, it's like you're wrong. You literally have to decide which way. It's one thing for you to say you defend
the white nationalists,
but I also have the free speech to say you're a fucking idiot if you believe that.
I'm a person who believes in free speech and people's right to protest. I definitely, but it has to be peaceful. When it stops becoming peaceful and you start to see these videos of people ramming into the crowds and beating up people that are defenseless.
And I would consider verbal violence a thing too. If people are literally chanting in the streets like white people are the best, like, you know, they won't be laughing when the gas chambers are back. Like, I saw some of that stuff.
No, yeah, they're saying crazy stuff. I mean. It's not like they're being peaceful, people.
No, that is hateful. That is not
inciting violence.
That's inciting violence. So
on purpose, behind the guise of, well, I can say that. No, dude, the government protects you, but it doesn't protect you. If you're inciting violence with speech, you can't be surprised when it gets violent. And I say that as someone who I feel like I'd get blowback for this, but I don't believe in the punch a Nazi thing. I feel like through constructive talks, like you said, like informing some of these people maybe, and shunning them if they believe that. I don't know how to solve the issue. I'm not here to solve the issue, but that's just what I think. I think that violence is not the answer.
Education is definitely important. Not just telling people that person's wrong, punch them. I think that it takes a lot, and I do think that people do need to understand how this kind of stuff breeds, and that helps. That's a good point. Like, if you say, okay, well, I'm gonna shun you, do you think that pushes them even farther back into their group? That reaffirms everything that's what I was saying earlier. If you just completely shun them, it does just reaffirm their beliefs of, you know, they're now just trying to silence us because they know that we're right and we'll rally people together. I think that's why education and keeping the forum open, but like, it's mixed. I don't want to give them the forum to talk on, but people need to understand how these thoughts are built and bred, and it's just. That's why I have no idea what to do. And that's why I understand why people are like, yeah, the only solution is to just beat them to submission. Like,
I think that makes it, I think violence makes it worse, because then they can say, well, did you see how they've reacted?
Yeah. Then they literally have the forum being like, look at the violent left going at it again. Like, exactly. And it's like, there's no winning.
I mean, I think if you ignore, I don't know, I feel like if you ignore them, it might push them back into their group that makes them feel okay. But also, if you get kicked out of school, kicked out of your job, kicked out of your family, don't you start to think, hey man, maybe I'm doing something a little bit wrong.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That kind of stuff is good, because that does send out a message in a way that's not just saying you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, we're shunning you from society. That is literally like, you are so wrong that your beliefs have literally ruined your ability to have a life.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, and I can see them turning into a thing where it's all like, if you have lost your job due to hate speech or something, you are not eligible for like unemployment or whatever. Like, you're not eligible for that, because that's not a valid reason to have lost your job. Like that, I could see that something like that starting to happen, which I don't think is legal, but like,
I don't think it is right now.
I see people pushing for it. I think people would start pushing for it if it got to like, I have no idea. Because the only, this is gonna be the worst thing. The only thing worse than a bigot who is getting fired is a bigot who gets fired and is now paid to sit on his ass and learn how to be a better bigot all day.
That is true. I mean, I don't have much tolerance for bigots, period, but especially that. I was gonna say, I believe in Canada, hate stuff like this is actually a crime. There's no like First Amendment we don't have a that First like Amendment. Protects y'all. Yeah, hate speech is something that's punishable and it's like not tolerated. So it ends up being slightly different. Like obviously you have the right to have opinions and say what you want, but like we don't have that First Amendment right that protects you under. It's like different. We have similar things, but it's like hate speech itself is a little bit more of like a thing here that can be addressed. Isn't it kind of wild that some Americans' lives are molded around a society's words from like 200 years ago without any, I mean, they had like muskets back then, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Right to bear arms had to do with...
What's the internet? They didn't know.
Yeah, right to bear arms was made in a very, very different time. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't be allowed to have guns. I think that's a totally separate issue there too.
To note, I do believe, I don't like to put my beliefs out there too much. I do believe in the Second Amendment. I do believe people should have guns.
People have the right to have fully automatic or semi-automatic rifles in their home.
I agree to an extent. I think that if you want that stuff, you have to go through a much more I think if you want that gun, it should be locked at a gun range and you're only allowed using it at the gun range. Because what else are you going to use a literal military weapon for in a domestic country? Well,
what do you need an Uzi for? What do you need an Uzi?
It's not that you need it. It's almost seen as like a hobby or like something that they like to do. Then like why do people like need Lamborghinis?
They shouldn't be able to have the ammo then, something like that. Now that we're turning onto a different topic.
Yeah, we're getting into the gun issue, which is super touchy for most people.
It is touchy, so I'm not going to touch on that. I'm just saying that.
Well, no, you're Canadian too. You got to think of it too. You're from a completely different country, similar as we are. Some of these laws and amendments that we're talking about are completely different in the countries we're in. So you were raised. Y'all don't have any guns in your homes, probably. I was raised around hunting.
To be fair, like my dad had a hunting rifle, but it was a hunting rifle, and we live in the woods.
A hunting rifle is not the same as an AK.
That's what I mean, and like I don't know, and it's like weird to have like a random person that just like has an AK in their home because I know how people can.
It's not a random person though. This is what I think is that you need to go through a stringent process to get that. And if you really are an enthusiast and you really want it and you really want to pay all the money, then you should have no problem doing all these background checks and making sure you're
here it's like a totally separate license that you have to go to like even more schooling for and something, and you have to specifically have like a restricted class license, and it's like really hard to get stuff. It's really hard to get it.
Yeah.
So there's 2 different types of gun licenses you can have here.
And alternatively, and that's if you want to own an AK. If you want to go shoot, like you said, at a range, you guys have gun ranges up there, right?
Yeah, we have gun ranges.
You could go like shoot an LMG. It's fun, man. It's really fun.
I know, and I want to do that. It's just that like I understand why people are nervous about them having something like that in home.
I mean, I am because I personally don't want an AK in my home. I don't. No. I don't really see the need to have anything above a pistol for me personally. I want multiple pistols so that I can protect myself and my kitties if someone tries to bust down my doors. I get that. But a lot of these people are it's seemingly afraid of the government taking it from them. Yeah. Which kind of is a little deja vu, you know what I mean?
I get it.
From the Civil War, which I get it. And you have a right to do that. But I personally don't feel a need to have an AK or a shotgun, personally. But I do believe in home defense. And I even believe in hobby shooting. So if you really like those guns.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like all that stuff's cool. Like I totally get why somebody would want to use one, but it's just either way totally separate issue, obviously.
Yeah, we are
saying that the time that these amendment laws were made was a very different time with very different considerations, and I feel like people try to just blanket wash it over everything all the time.
Yes, it's like similar to the Bible, dude.
I'm literally thinking that
it's like well, God said this, so I mean, all right, we're getting too far. We're way too far into the rabbit hole. These
are shitty people. White nationalists are shitty people, and that's what we're going to leave that at.
And we don't like them, and I don't want them in my society because I believe in the right. I believe in the left. I don't believe in the all right. I don't believe in the crazy left. I believe in peace and prosperity for everybody. There's different ways to achieve that, and there's different viewpoints of how to get there, and I respect that. but I don't like Nazis. All right, cool.
Nope.
Sounds
Cool.
good. Good talk to you out there.
Good podcast.
We're going to call this Political Down.
Political
Because this is the most... I don't like to get political because I know that people get really mad. Like,
especially when you don't have the ability to immediately live respond to them. So then you don't have a chance to clarify something they might have taken that you said wrong.
Yes, they can take it out of context. If I say, well, the left showed up and that's not cool, they will take that small little snippet,
blanket watch it over everything
and be like,
said.
wow, she's like Donald Trump. She said that the left showed up and started messing things up. No, bro, I'm saying that the alt-right incited bad shit and they incite each other, work off each other. Okay, I'm gonna get you gotta just know. I guess I shouldn't be upset if people misconstrue something I say because I know truly how I feel and what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not the best at articulating it sometimes. It's hard. Like you said, when it's not live to be like, oh, wait, no, but I mean it like this. Like, it's different. Anyway, are you glad you're Canadian right now? I would be so glad.
I am. But at the same time, it's like, I know that you say that, but somebody started a group on Facebook with they want to have a white nationalist rally in Toronto in September.
What?
There weren't many people in it, but they found it very quickly. And it's like, that means I know those thoughts are here. Like I said, I was in high school with people who had those thoughts, and they were young and they got over them over the years, but I know that these thoughts exist in my country. And I know that it would just take a very minimal thing for them to grab onto to really latch on. I see it on my Facebook. I see it when I read posts about some people. And that's scary to me. That's scary to me that there's people that are just now have this forum to just find other people that have the same thoughts as them.
I went to high school with racist boys who had Confederate flags on their lifted pickup trucks.
Yep.
In Minnesota.
I also had that in Canada. In Canada, people with Confederate flags in Canada, with Nazi flags in Canada, people complaining about Mexicans stealing jobs in Canada. I was like, bitch, you need to slow your row. Bitch, you need to slow your row.
It's an empowering thing. It makes you feel like you're better than other people. And there's other ways to do that, people. Love your neighbor.
Be a better person is how you can feel better about yourself. Do better things is how you can feel better about yourself.
Yes. You'd be surprised at how good it feels to accept people. Okay, anyway, we got to end it, dude. We're going to just keep ranting. Yo, MiDNiTE and Jedi for President 2020. See you guys there. Okay. Anyway, good talk. See you out there. Sorry we didn't do a live episode. I got love for y'all. If you disagree with any of our opinions during this, I apologize, I guess. I hope y'all are chill. Bye, Felicias. Click out.